And we are live. All righty. Well, guys, welcome to this evening's webinar. And there's a couple of things I want to go through tonight. And basically what I want to do firstly is I just want to go through and show, share the picture in a minute of the basic structure of how to get this thing kicked off. Because we've got to start, right? If we don't start, we don't finish. Pretty simple. Now, let me share the screen with this picture. And there we go. We got the screen shared. Let me just bring that back a little bit to there. No, we're going to open that right up. All right. Okay. Now, look, here's the basics of how this business works. All righty, let me just make that a bit bigger. That's a bit better. Okay, the basics of how this works is, look, this is you. You've elected to become involved. You're in Isagenix. For the people who want to make some money out of this, now a lot of people are just happy to sit there and use product. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's their choice. However, if you have any interest in making money, what we need to do is sponsor one on the left, one on the right. Now, by simply doing that, and those people that you introduce are doing a minimum of 100 BV in a month, you get paid $50 for doing that. Isagenix pay you that. Now, from the day you start, if you've sponsored one on the right, one on the left, and then help them do exactly the same within 60 days, what happens is this. They become a consultant, so they get the $50. Because you taught and helped these people, find these people, show them how it works, Isagenix will pay you $100 for each of those. So you've now made $250. Now, that will happen no matter how long you've been in. If you've been in a week, a month, a year, and you start off and you do that, you will make $250. However, if you do it in a 60-day period, Isagenix will pay you another $250 for a total of $500. Now, that's what they call being a crystal manager. Now, again, if you then keep introducing other people, so the green people, the ones in green are the ones you introduce, and help them introduce other people, and if you do that 6 times, you will then get $750, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got $650. You got $600 there. Sorry, $650. So that's what you've got. Even if you don't do it in 120 days, you still make your $650. And then, if you do that in 120 days, Isagenix will give you another $750 for a total of $1,650. Now, this income does not cover any other bonuses. It doesn't cover any of the BV bonuses that you will receive in here. It doesn't cover any of the product introductory bonuses or the double product introductory bonuses. So this is absolute money for jam by simply teaching people how to start their structures. Now, let me stop sharing this page. So in doing that, all this is real simple. We have a structured way of teaching people how to start and make money for those who want to make money. Now, look, $1,600 odd, depending on where you're coming from, can either be a lot of money or not much money. But it's like anything else, you know, an oak tree grows out of an acorn. Doesn't look like much. Give it 50 years. It's pretty big, right? And so what happens is, how do we share this idea with people so as that it makes sense to them? Well, let's share the screen again. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this bit. Now, in this, what happens is we've got this little sheet. It's just one sheet of paper, double-sided, that if we just explain this, sit down with people, they've got a copy of it, you've got a copy of it. And we explain to them that, look, normally what happens is you go over here to the shops, pay full price for your groceries, and then you drag the groceries home. What about if you could order direct out of a warehouse, saving about 30%, and by simply teaching other people how to do the same, you can earn money. So you can save money, you can earn money. Now, we just sit down and go through this. What I want to do is share with you is a way whereby you can tap into an income stream using world-leading health food supplier and the global trend for better health. Doesn't matter where you look these days, everybody's talking about getting healthy, getting healthy, getting healthy. Now it's simple. All we do is change from eating nutritionally bankrupt food to eating high nutritional food. Now everybody eats food. All your family eat food. All your friends eat food. All the people at work eat food. The people that you haven't met yet, they all eat food. Now if they don't eat food, well then we can't talk to them unless you can converse with the dead. Right? Everybody eats food. We order direct from the supplier a few days in advance. As we're already spending money on food, therefore there's a transfer spend, not an additional expense. We purchase at wholesale, not retail. And look, we just read down through here. We get down here, look, we've got a very simple system in place that have got proven results over decades. Now this business model is founded on providing solutions in many areas, such as personal energy and performance, right? Weight loss, healthy aging, high nutritional clean food, income generation, and wealth creation. Now, with this business, you can have both time and money. And then we just ask people, well, look, firstly, are there any aspects of your health that you'd like to improve? Now, give me a wave if you've had some improvement in your health due to eating these products. Give us a bit of a wave, we're going, right? Yep, all right. Now, then what amount of income would ease your current financial situation? And, you know, everybody's different. Somebody might say, you know, $100 a week. Some people might say $1,000 a week. It doesn't matter what that number is, but it's got to be their number. You know, what's going to ease your financial situation, right? And what would change for you if you had that money? Then what amount of money would give you more choices? Oh, well, $1,500 a week, man, I could buy whatever car I like. I could take it, you know, go on whatever holidays I like. I could go to Paris or cruise the Caribbean or do whatever, right? And then, well, what about an extra couple of grand a week or more? And that's the conversation point. That's where you have a conversation with people. It's not grilling them. It's having a conversation just to find out where they're at. Now, you and I don't have to be product experts or money experts, right? Let's now look at some of the products and the results that they can deliver. And we'll also look at the income structure and your potential residual income. Now, what we do is we let the experts do the talking. We play the videos. So all the videos are in place. We don't have to work it out. All we got to do is press play. And it's that simple. So this is your guide on how to explain what it is you do to the people that you want to invite into your business. This is the guide, how we do it. After we've watched the videos, we then go through and we explain this to them again. Now, we've just went through this on the other diagram. We go through here again and we cover this bit again. Look, this is how simple this business is. We swap brands, start using the products available out of your own business. We order in advance, we share the concept with some friends, and we teach those who join with us how to do the same thing. You see, it's going to work if you want it to work, but it is up to you. I can't make you do it. I can't do it for you. I'd love to do it for you, but I can't. You got to do it. I'll help you. I'll back you up. I'll come with you and show a few plans, teach you how to do it, do all that sort of stuff. That's not a problem. But at the end of the day, you got to do it. Now, this demonstrates the massive duplication factor. It is this duplication factor that makes this the best business model in the world. Right? Let's have a look at this. You plus 2, them plus 2 in 60 days, $500. You plus 6, them plus 2 in 120 days, $1,650. Now, that's what we showed you on the previous diagram. Now, if you've found 6, if we teach those 6 how to get their 6, who get their 6, and everybody's having just two lots of shakes, 2 lots of bars a month, you're making $1,700 a month. Now, that's like getting an extra pay packet and a half every month. Right? So if those 6 went out and found their 6, still eating, everybody's eating the same amount of stuff, that's 10 grand a month. It is the geometric progression, the compounding factor of numbers based on minimum volume. We're not asking people to spend a fortune. It's about $50 a week. We'll get you through this. But if everybody was doing that, that's $10,000 a month. Now, you haven't found hundreds of people. All you've got is half a dozen. Those half a dozen found their half a dozen. We can teach them how to do that. But we've got to know why to do this. Right? We've got to know why we're doing it. Look, it's great to get all the healthy food into us and the nutrition and get the toxins out and all that. So we know that, right? We know that. But at the end of the day, we've got to understand that what we've actually got our hands on is quite large. In fact, massive. In fact, for a lot of us, it can be earth-shaking if you want it to be. And it's very hard to see where you are right now, what a big difference could take part in your life over time, right? Just in time. So let me bail out of sharing this. Now, what happens is, you know, we think about this far outside our sphere of influence. You know, we've got our family, we've got our mates at work, a few rowers, whatever, and we try and figure out in here whether they'd be interested or not. And that's a big mistake. You never figure that out. The very people you think would be interested won't be. The very people who you think probably won't be will be. And if they don't get in with you, they'll get in with somebody because they're looking. They're in the looking zone. Right? And, you know, like we've got this delivery. We've got 2 delivery guys. One of them's a young bloke. He's all right, but I don't take much to him. And we've got another bloke who's a older European guy. And he's always got a big smile on his face. He's, you know, probably my age or a bit older. And he's always in a rush, drops the product off, goes, drops it off, goes, right? Got to go, bye, have a good day. Well, today I caught him and he seemed to have a bit of time. And I had a quick chat to him. And he said, oh, yeah, he said, I always need more money. I want to retire soon. But he said, I need to lose weight. He said, and I know, he said, it's the food we buy at the shops that's making me fat and sick. Right? Now he knows that. And I said, I'll send you some information on what we're doing with this product. Oh, yes, yes. So he gave me his details and I sent that off to him tonight. Now, he's not a friend of mine. I've seen him. I've said hello, goodbye. So he's on the very edge of that circle of acquaintances. But you never know who's looking and who's not. Now, everybody deserves the opportunity to have a look at this. Now, I'm going to unmute Wayne. I just need to ask Wayne a question for a second. So don't worry, Wayne. I'm not going to dob you in on anything, mate, so it's okay. Hey, Wayne, you used to be in another multi-level years ago, weren't you?
Oh, look, I tried Amway many moons ago,
Many
yes.
moons ago, yeah, right, okay. Well, that's good because what I want to do, hang on, thanks for that, Wayne. I thought you had, but I didn't want to assume without double checking with you, okay? So I'll mute you off again. Yep. Okay, guys, we have a system, that little sheet on how to show the plan with the house and the warehouse and the shops and all that bit and piece on there, that all came out of the old FSI system of years ago when we were in Amway. Right? That's the bones of the plan, of the Amway plan. Now, why do we use that in isogenics? Because it works. It really works, but it only works if you sit down and walk people through it. It doesn't work by osmosis, all righty? Now, we sit there, and for all of us here on this call tonight, we go, when we say we've got Trevor and Linda Chatham coming over to Adelaide, not this weekend, but next, we go, oh yeah, Trevor and Linda, yeah, that'll be good to catch up with them. We don't get our head around who and what a Trevor and Linda are, right? And familiarity doesn't breed contempt. Unfortunately, familiarity just breeds complacency. It just breeds complacency. We become complacent, and we shouldn't, all right? Now, one of the key things that we've got to understand is that when we were in Amway, we were within the Jaeger system of developing that network. And what I want to do now is I'm going to just play you, I don't know, probably 15 minutes or more of an old tape, right? Now, what I want to point out to you is this, that the guy who's recorded this tape, if he was within our organization, if he was in isogenics today, the size of the business he's built, he would have broken 5 or 6 business centers and he'd be at about 60 star, right? So he has a lot of credibility. He's always had a lot of credibility. You'll hear a bit of his background. He was a All-American footballer. He was a radio broadcaster. He's had high credibility in everything that he did. All right? But what I want you to do is I want you to listen to how it all started for him. All right? And where it bounced off to. Okay? So if you can't hear this, please make sure your speakers are turned up so as that you've got the volume right. I'm going to press play now. Unfortunately, my technology is not real flash. I'm running an old cassette player here and hoping you're going to be able to pick up the audio and that it comes out on our recording. So give me a wave, thumbs up if you can hear it, thumbs down if you can't, please. So here we go.
Want to, but I know it's something else. LSU wouldn't move their football game, and Turner was trying to get them to move it. They wouldn't move it, and as a result, we did not broadcast a football game this weekend for the first time since I've been doing that. And as a result, I got to be here with you. I got to be here and watch some of the people that we've been working with and that you've been working with go across this stage. You got a couple of minutes, and I just want to convey a couple of thoughts to you.
If you heard the applause there, at that function, there was 58,000 people. Get your head around that, 58,000 people. Okay.
Back in 1970, I was drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and facts said that I shouldn't make it, but then again, all the facts said that I shouldn't have made it all the way along. And I'd learned to be a survivor from people that had been important in my life. And I'd learned in my life through athletics that the facts don't count. I would just choose to ignore them because oftentimes if I looked at the facts, they sapped too much energy from me and they wouldn't give me the ability to perform up to my potential of what I thought was my potential. I decided early on in life that I wasn't going to worry about reality. I wasn't going to change my thoughts and desires because of reality. I was not going to face reality. I was going to try to create my own reality. And that's what we all have the opportunity to do through this network. In 1970, I was introduced to a guy with a big jaw, Don Shula. And, I said, I think on a tape one time, my mother was real excited that I got to play for a Catholic like Don Shula because he went to Mass and Communion every day. But I met Don Shula. Don Shula arrived in Miami from Baltimore where he'd won some national football championships. And he wasn't used to dealing with a team like the Miami Dolphins who were 3-10-1. And he made an announcement when he got down there. He announced the dawning of a new era in Miami. And he announced that the Dolphins would no longer be a team of cast-offs that couldn't play for any other football team. They would no longer be considered a doormat in the league. They would no longer be considered an easy victory for a playoff contender. They would no longer be considered a weekly underdog. They would no longer be a team that other teams would snicker at. There was a new era starting in Miami. And what he wanted was people to create that new era with him, people that could share his dream, people that could believe that this team that had stunk for 5 or 6 years could win a world championship. And what he wanted to do was surround himself with players, regardless of their level of ability, that could first believe and then second commit themselves to that same cause, that same dream. And what happened was a team in 1969 that went 3-10-1, 3 years later created NFL history when they went 17-0. And what he did was he gathered together a group of people that had been cast-offs from other teams, that had been released from other teams, that weren't good enough to play for other teams, and he changed the minds of those people. He changed the anticipation level of those people, and he got them to start expecting positive results. He got them to start expecting to win, and he got them to a point where they could not tolerate defeat. Nick Buoniconti was our little middle linebacker in those days. Nick wasn't even as big as I was. But he was the leader of what they called the no-name defense. And they called us the no-name defense because none of us had been any good. But we played well together. We played well together, and he forged that group behind a common cause to become better as a unit than they ever could have been as individuals. He sold the dream, he sold the dream, he sold the dream, he sold the dream. And he got rid of anybody that wouldn't believe. He got rid of anybody that snickered. He got rid of anybody that couldn't convert their mind to believe what he wanted them to believe. And that's what he did. And as a result, the Dolphins created a dynasty in the early 70s in Miami. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but over the last couple of years, and some of you folks haven't even been in the business that long, there's been a dramatic change, and it's been spearheaded by Dexter and Bertie Yeager, and we've entered a new era in this networking business. No longer is this network concept being considered a small part-time business. No longer is this network concept being viewed as something that, my wife could do for a little while in her spare time. No longer is it a short-term, low-priority venture. The word is creeping out. The word is creeping out. The potential is coming into focus. All the experts and financial analysts are in agreement. Because if you'd like to have a business of your own, and if you're not afraid of work and commitment, and if you'd like to avoid high risk and major capital investments, if you'd like to enjoy developing a secure and willable income, if you'd be interested in creating an astounding percentage return on investment, if you're interested in experiencing a lifestyle that's unencumbered by the normal stress factors of business like employee management, excessive overhead, then you're in the right place. The networking is for you, according to all the experts. That's what they're saying. Now, we know that. We know that, but what you have to do is you can't let your attitudes be established by some of the people that are uninformed on the outside. You know something that they don't know, and you have to take pride in what you know. You have to take pride in what you've seen. Isn't it amazing? You talk about the facts not counting. And I think it really struck home for me the first time at Puro Club at Dex's house, when I saw people from Belgium and France and Australia out of an apartment off an alley in Rome, New York, is where my destiny began to be forged in this business. Back in the mid-'60s, when I was struggling through high school, trying to get a date for the prom, trying to learn how to back up, trying to learn how to throw a pass, trying to convince myself that I wasn't all that bad while I was trying to pass Latin. There was a couple that lived in an apartment off an alley in Rome, New York, that was making $95 a week, that had a dream. And at that time, what was converging on that couple was a vehicle that could change the destiny of their life and my life. I didn't know that was going on. Back in the mid-'60s, in an apartment off an alley in Rome, New York. And the dreamer's vision creeped into some other houses in the Northeast. Creeped into the house of Tony and Sue Renard. It creeped into the house of Tim and Sherry Bryan, Don and Nancy Wilson, Jim and Connie Agard. It creeped into the house of the Kinslers, the Griffins, the Fishes, the Kings, the Hartides brothers, the O'Briens, the Tenoroviches, the Schauflers, the Boers. Is there anybody here in this room that lives in the northeastern part of the United States? Huh? It's a funny idea when a movement, when a cause begins and it's fed, it's powered by a man with a dream, what can happen? Because it trickled out of the Northeast, and it trickled out of that apartment off an alley in Rome, New York, into the Southeast, into the house of Jerry and Cherry Meadows, into the house of Jack and Effie Reed, Ron and Toby Hale, John and Maureen Minato, into the houses of the Florences, the Boguses, the Shires, the Rays, the Larimores, the Stoppers, the Bolins, the Hambys, the Hugheses, the Paulins, the Martins, the Reasons, the Gilowitzes. Is anybody here that lives in the southeastern part of the United States? And then it made a jump from Gray, Tennessee. You ever been to Gray, Tennessee? They found a struggling young Tennessean who was married to a German girl. And that dream trickled out of that apartment off an alley in Rome, New York, and it leaped across the Atlantic with Ken and Doris Pittman. And the Boyds and the Muellers, the Seitzes, the Marisons are here. It's into Belgium, France, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, all over Europe, all throughout the Mediterranean. You know, some of these people are here, but they have meetings like this all over Europe. And it started in an apartment off an alley. Maybe your house isn't nice enough to build this business from. Jump the other way, too. Isn't it amazing? I mean, I'm amazed. It jumped the other way, all the way across the Atlantic, through the influences, the Reasons, the Paulins, the Gulicks, over to Australia. And so what you have is the Chapmans and the Deans and the Havelsguards and the Madisons and the Watts, and a free enterprise system in Australia. I mean, doesn't this amaze you? This amazes me. I mean, we're not talking about billions of dollars. That, you know, there's some company spends billions of dollars to advertise to get that kind of growth. Isn't it amazing the power of a dream of one man and one couple, what it can accomplish and what it can transform?
Well, guys, what he's talking about there is when Dexter and Bertie got involved in Amway, they changed the system from retail to network and self-consumption. And every person that he reeled off there was a diamond or above, right? And from all over the world. But it started in one person's house your house. It started in one house. And that person who had the dream went out and shared the concept and taught others how to dream of how big it could get, what they could do, where they could go. One house, your dream. What if? We don't have a problem with the product. The product is brilliant. The product is just the product, the best product, but it is just the product. We have taken the Jaeger system that built that massive worldwide organization, and we're now overlaying that over the top of the Isagenix product and compensation plan. And he mentioned there the Chathams. Trevor was an integral part. He was the fastest diamond ever to go diamond in Australia's history. He was the second fastest diamond in the world at that point. And we take him for granted. Oh, it's just Trevor and Linda coming over. No. You got to understand. These people are legends around the world in networking. We've got them on tap. We just don't edify them properly. We don't understand who they are. You know, I'm not sure, but when was the last time you had a millionaire who'd made millions and millions in this industry? Right? I don't know when the last time you had somebody who'd made millions and millions in your industry come and sit down and share with you how to make the millions he's made for all bugger all cost. You know, like, think about it, right? Just amazing people. And when you think about what Tim Foley was talking about, it all started in a little house in the alley in Rome, New York. Dexter, he was a brewery truck driver. Now, I've been to Dex's house, right? 28-car garage, full, right? Unbelievable place. I've been there. Sat down, had coffee. But you've got to understand something. What he's talking about, the size of that, we'll call it an empire, all started in a house no different than your house, with somebody who wasn't going to accept the reality of his current situation. He was going to create a new reality because he had a tool, he developed a system, he had a vehicle that would be able to change destiny, not just for him, but for thousands of other people. And when we look at this business and we listen to what Foley's talking about there, it jumped all over the world. Isagenix is just opening up all over the world. But it depends on your dream. And, you know, the dream can start off an extra $500 a week. That could be the dream. Well, as you get close to the 500, well, hell, we've done that. Let's crack for 1,000. And the only way you're going to do that is help more people develop their businesses down in depth, work in depth. Like, you know, I've been and shown plans for Mike. I've been and shown plans for Adam. I got another plan with Adam tomorrow morning, right? I could go and show plans for Jerry or Wayne or Craig. I've shown plans for Craig. Got plans lined up for Dean and Kay. You know, we can do this. This is working the depth. It's helping the next person realize their dream. To realize their dream. That's what this is all about. But it's fueled out of your dream. It's fueled out of what's possible. What could we actually do if we really sat down and worked it out? We've got the sheet on how to show the plan. We got the video on the products and the money. We don't have to be the experts in that. All we've got to do is learn how to approach people, and that's pretty easy. It could be something as simple as you might be standing in the supermarket, lined up with your trolley, and you can make a comment to the person next to you or in front of you or behind you. God, groceries aren't getting any cheaper, are they? Nope, it's got to be the answer. Then you could smile and say, you know, some people actually have found a way to get their groceries totally paid for. Well, what's the person going to say to you? Well, how do they do that? Oh, give us your details, I'll send you some information. It's pretty easy, really. Contact. Right? You might be talking to people who are retiring age and say, well, gee whiz, you know, the super isn't all that it was cracked up to be, is it? Oh, hell no, we've got to be pretty careful. You know, there's people out there who found a way to put an extra $1,000 a week in on top of their super. Well, how do they do that? Contact. Ta-da-ta-da. Approaching people is easy. Some people might want to lose weight. You just hear the conversation. Right? Say, well, look, I got onto something. I've lost a bit of weight and I reckon it's pretty good. I'll send you some information. Oh, okay, fine. It doesn't matter as long as you're making forward movement to build the numbers of people, because you don't know who the next people know. You don't know who they know. And you don't know who they know. This could go anywhere, just like Tim Foley was talking about. It went into the northeast, it went into the southwest, it went into the east, it went across to Europe, it came across to Australia. You don't know where it's going to go. Now let me share the screen again, just quickly. That's you. You might know this person and this person. You may even know this one and this one. But chances are you don't know these people here. And you might have only just met this person. He might be the delivery guy. But you don't know. I don't know who he knows. And you've got no idea whether these people are going to be in Victoria, Queensland, New South Wales, Darwin. You just don't know, because then that opens up a whole new realm of other people. You just don't know. That's the beautiful part about this thing. It's like spinning the wheel, around and around and around it goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. You don't know who's the next exciting person that's going to get involved in your business. But if you don't ask them, I guarantee you they can't get involved in your business. Right now, down under Darren, I got a guy down there who's, he's contacted a few people and done a little bit, but he contacted this other guy who's I've been in touch with, and he's sent me emails backwards and forwards, and he is so hot to trot. He's got people all over the country lining up to get in because of the credibility that he has. And I don't know him. Darren doesn't know him. But he's down in his group, right? Way, 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 way down, right? Massive. And he will lead to all corners of the globe. You don't know who you don't know. But I'll guarantee you this, if you don't put one on the right and one on the left, you can't start. You can't get the benefit. And it's not difficult. I'm happy to come and help. Now I'm going to unmute everybody. So hold on. Has anybody got any questions on that little audio that we listened to, or anything else for that matter?
Yeah, it all makes sense.
It's all
Gotta
good,
do it.
guys. All right. Now, what I'll do is I'll stop recording because we're